Hello, my cosmic cunties. Welcome back to another week of our astrology energy forecast for today. We are starting on the 15th until the 21st. And so I will be going through day by day, letting you know what is happening energetically and how that might affect you as far as your internal world goes. And of course, as always, your internal world is a direct reflection as to what you're seeing on the external world. So if you're struggling internally, you're going to find struggles externally. Sorry, my dog Zozo's trying to get her toy, and I'm like, not today, not right now, honey. No, that's not going to be the case, babe. Not your ice cream. Said ice cream. So with that being said, I am Tiffany, if you are new here, and I will be going through Monday through Sunday, letting you know kind of what to expect based on what's happening astrologically. And yeah, so this week, the 15th through the 21st of December is going to be, it's the new moon week, okay? So start thinking about, what are you calling in for the new year? What are you calling in for 2026? Because this is the last new moon of 2025. So this is the last new moon of 2025, wherein we are sitting with our emotions, sitting with the energy of the cosmos, and getting real with ourselves about what are we calling in? What are we wanting to bring in for the new year? Now, the new year is, January 1st in the Gregorian calendar. However, what's important is that knowing that the new year is actually springtime in Aries, then it's going to actually happen in March. So what we're doing is we're starting to plan ahead for our new year. So it's not like the new year starts and then all of a sudden we're like, wait, what are we planning or what are we hoping for this year? We're using these hibernation months from essentially now, December, until March to get real with ourselves, to do the planning, to do the inner work. And that way, when it comes springtime, we can bloom and know exactly what direction we're heading in. So if you think about 2026 and we're focusing on this new moon, which is in Sagittarius, and I'll get into this on the day that it actually happens, but this is essentially my intention for you this week, is really asking yourself, who are you? What have you accomplished? How do you show up? And essentially, what is the new version of you? What do they look like? What are they doing? What do they want? What are they accomplishing? All of it. And you're thinking about that for 2026. Okay, guys, let's hop in. So Monday, on the 15th, Moon in Scorpio is square Pluto in Aquarius. So this is essentially shadow and power play. This is where you can go deeper into your internal world. So where can you dig deeper? Where can you dig even deeper than that? Where is your internal world in conflict or in friction with your potential groups of friends or groups of people that you're with? So maybe you're wanting a deeper meaning, and maybe you're feeling the pressure to join a new group or start a new volunteer activity or project. It kind of can be causing you this friction of like, I'm going in this direction. I'm feeling deeper. I am transforming internally. And is this energy matching what I'm going through, or the energy of the groups that I hang out with? Is that matching? So then on Tuesday, we're going to be moving into further moon energy, still in Scorpio, but it's trining Jupiter in Cancer. So this is an expansion of our emotions, of our depth and transformation. Whatever we are feeling will be amplified, essentially. Jupiter is a great expander, and these are both water placements. Also on Tuesday, we have the Sun in Sagittarius squaring Saturn in Pisces. So this might feel like you're being restricted, you're trying to get things done, you're being yourself, you're stepping out, but like there's this force that's asking you to be a little bit more orderly or a little bit more put together. Sagittarius is kind of like that fun party friend. And Pisces is that like dreamy, like kind of homebody in a way, but creative. And it's this squaring. So there's this friction between each other with Saturn, which is the daddy discipline planet. Then we've got the moon in Scorpio trining Saturn in Pisces. So the moon and sun are kind of working together in tandem when they're squaring Saturn or working with Saturn in Pisces. This one is trining though. So how, like, even though you're struggling, the sun is squaring Saturn, the moon is trining it. So your emotions are a little more supported. You're being rewarded for processing your feelings, working through them, especially if you're feeling that restriction in the external world. You're going to be able to kind of work through your emotions and really feel into those. Then on Wednesday, we have the moon in Scorpio still opposing Uranus and Taurus. So this can bring about some emotional shakeups or ups and downs. Perhaps something happens that makes you feel deeply. It might bring up things about your self-worth. That's Taurus. It doesn't have to be good or bad one way or the other with Uranus. It's just a shakeup or a realization, especially with it opposing the moon, which is your internal world. Then we're going to have also on Wednesday, the moon in Scorpio trining Neptune in Pisces. So this could feel like some pretty dreamy feelings. Some kind of like deep la la land might be happening for your internal world. And then finally on Wednesday, we have the moon moving into Sagittarius. This is pretty heavy Sagittarius energy because this is going to create 5 planets that are in Sagittarius during that time. So this is a good energy to have fun, to have those bigger eye-opening conversations. And so it's starting to pick up the momentum of just like allowing ourselves to relax, especially heading into the holiday season. It's also preparing us for the new moon energy, which is in Sagittarius. And so this is Wednesday night, we're going to start to feel that new moon energy by the time we have the actual new moon on Friday. Then on Thursday, we have the moon in Sagittarius is conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius. So communicating your emotions, your thoughts, you're really supported that day on doing those things. You can feel comfortable on having those fun conversations and speaking your thoughts and feelings. And then the Venus in Sagittarius is going to trine Chiron, which is retrograding in Aries still. So something could come about that could be a little bit intense or fiery that makes you realize your wounds when it comes to love. So how you show up in love, the way you love others, the way that you are in relation, but also with yourself. How do you love yourself? How are you in relation with yourself? How do you show up for yourself? How do you show up for others? Where is there a downfall? This will be brought to light for you to work out. Like whatever comes to light is for you to be kind of pushing through that and acknowledging that. So don't let it slide away. Chiron and Aries is really helping you redefine yourself, your self-worth, your self-expression. And so working with whatever is coming up, especially with it trining Venus, this is a positive time that is easier than some other aspects to work through that self-love or that love of others. This is hopefully igniting your heart chakra and allowing more unconditional love to come through. And then we are moving on to Friday. The moon is still going to continue to be in Sagittarius, and it's going to conjunct Venus in Sagittarius. Remember, I said there's 5 planets in Sagittarius, so there's a lot of fun love, exciting love, allowing yourself to have fun, to soak up the self-love or others' love, allow yourself to show love or how you feel. This is a very beautiful placement, really highlighting some good, fun-loving energy, so try to soak that in. We also have the same moon in Sagittarius squaring Saturn in Pisces. So you might feel a little bit restricted in your emotions. You might be feeling a little philosophical or big picture thinking, but there's maybe this block in your internal world where you might feel dreamy, yet a little fiery, wanting to move forward, but you can't, or you're needing to do further steps to move yourself forward. And then, of course, we come to the new moon in Sagittarius. So the sun is really highlighting our emotional world. It's conjunct these two things. The light being of who we are and our internal world is being highlighted. And so these things are working in tandem, in conjunction with each other. This is, again, the last new moon of the year. So this is the last manifesting moon to call in what you're wanting and aligning to what is coming in 2026, or what you're calling in for 2026. We have done a lot of work in 2025. We have shed a lot of things that do not align with us. And so this is a really good time to continue to get real with yourself about what you want to do, what you want to be, what you want to bring in with this 2026 version of yourself. Again, it's the year of the fire horse. So we're moving forward. We're having that momentum. Yeah. So who are you now after all this shedding? With the 5 planets in Sagittarius, this is a very heightened emotions of fiery celebrations to move forward. This new moon in Sagittarius that we're having is also squaring Neptune and Pisces. So this could be, and with Neptune being direct, this could be lifting the veil on our delusions or where we have been too dreamy or not realistic. Highlighting this area so we can come closer to what our dreams actually are, what truly and authentically lights us up. So with that veil being lifted, it's like we can see these things a little bit more clearly. We can feel into these things, into the rawness and the authenticity a little bit easier. And so utilizing this energy to really manifest with that new moon, or to call in, whatever word you want to use. I know some people are like, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but some people are really over this whole like manifest thing. And how do I manifest? And so that word can be triggering for some people, and even for me sometimes. Just know that whatever you're calling in, whatever you're wanting to happen, whatever you're wishing for, you have to align your energy and your frequency as if you already have it. You have to genuinely not think, although thinking does bring in the feelings. You have to genuinely feel as if you're already living that truth, as if you already have those things and you're feeling what it's like to be in that space. And so if it helps you, if you're like, I want to be a multimillionaire, well, it's going to not be that easy for you, depending on where you're at in your life, to just feel into what it's like to be a multimillionaire. I mean, you have to be a little bit more realistic. If you are not close to being a multimillionaire, if you're not even a millionaire, then you need to maybe step into, what does it feel like to have $15,000 a month income or $20,000 a month income first? Live that way, feel that way. Don't spend money you don't have, obviously, because if you're a multimillionaire, that's not what a multimillionaire would be doing. But feeling into, what does that version of yourself do? And that way that you're aligning the energy and the frequencies so that those things are coming closer to you and actually in your life. Because literally everything in life is just energy and frequency. Then we have, at the end of the day on Friday, the moon moving into Capricorn. So this is more grounded emotions, but it's also a little bit maybe more strict. Just try to ground that fun-loving energy we had been experiencing this week from the moon in Sagittarius. Try not to be as strict on yourself. I feel like a lot of times we give Virgo bad raps for being so strict and orderly and like things must be this certain way, but Capricorn very much so is that same thing. So just try to remember not to be so, I was going to say so Virgo on yourself, but don't be so Cap on yourself. And then Saturday, we've got the moon in Capricorn conjunct Mars in Capricorn. So let's take action. Let's move things forward in a grounded, precise way. Let's use this energy to help us move things forward. This could bring up a bit of internal conflict of where maybe you're being too hard on yourself, though, maybe too perfectionistic. So ease up on yourself and use this energy to move forward. Don't second guess. Like the Capricorn energy is already making sure that things are in order, in line. So just utilize that to move forward. And then we have the sun in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces. So this is friction between being a dreamy homebody and wanting to go out and party, basically. It isn't an opposition, but it is this pull from one to another. So you might not have a choice but to go with how you truly feel in your body, in your heart, and in your soul, not in your mind. Don't FOMO yourself. Don't fear of missing out on yourself. Because then we have Venus and Sagittarius squaring Saturn and Pisces. So this is a feeling or an energy of being hard on yourself or someone being hard on you, finding it difficult to connect with others. So maybe you do end up going out and you're trying to have a good time, but there's some tension externally or even internally. So if your body is in your mind, or not your mind, your body and your soul and your heart are all saying stay inside, there's a reason for that. So honor that. If you can't, of course, it's holiday season, then also honor that. But just know that's the energy that you're going to be dealing with the sun in Sagittarius and Venus in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces and then Saturn in Pisces. Yeah. I said it the way I needed to say it. But anyways, if you're confused, Sun in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces. Venus in Sagittarius squares Saturn in Pisces. So this is also kind of giving us a look into the future. Neptune and Saturn are starting to come back together as those best friends at the party. So they're both moving direct in Pisces again. They're getting closer and closer together. Those two planets are really working with each other over the next few years. While Saturn is in Pisces, Neptune will be in Pisces for a little bit longer, and then they're both going to be in Aries together. So this is that, like we talked about it earlier this year, because we experienced these two moving together earlier this year already in Aries. We got a little flavor of that, and then retrograding in Pisces together. So the two best friends at that party where they're working in tandem together. And so Saturn is disciplining the dreams and the delusions. It's making sure that we can actually move forward on those things. Okay, then on Sunday, we have Jupiter in Cancer squaring Chiron retrograde and Aries. So this is going to be highlighting where we can nurture ourselves more. Where can we love our wounds more, our shadow side, our dark sides, or problems, quote unquote, or issues that make us who we are. So I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I love, this about me. I love this about me. But when we think of like the issues that we have or the problems that we have, quote unquote, we don't tend to love those as much. We tend to try to hide those. And I urge you with this information here to be loving those things that you find difficult about yourself more than what you find enjoyable about yourself. So you're going to see those things highlighted on Sunday more than likely. So help yourself with that, and bring those things to light and nurture yourself and love on yourself in that way. Jupiter in Cancer is very nurturing. It's going to expand things, but it's also very nurturing. It wants to take care of those things that are coming up. So try to allow yourself to love on yourself, even those parts that you're like, no, I don't want to be that anymore. And maybe you're not that anymore, but if it's coming up, it's because you're being reminded of how far you've come. And then finally, we are officially entering Capricorn season on Sunday. That is on the 20th. Oh, let me double check what day that is. 21st. So Sun moves into Capricorn. We're officially entering the energy of the season of being grounded, being disciplined. This is the energy of being able to move things forward steadily, slowly, but surely. So always, the Sun is in a sign for about a month. We've got 12 signs in the newer astrological. We forgot about the 13th sign somewhere along the way. And I could dive into that, but I'll save that for another time. But this is there for about a month, and it's the energy of the season. So in Western astrology, we are aligning with the seasons of what the energy is bringing us. And the energy is bringing us this like slow, grounded movement where we're getting things together, we're getting things in order. And so we're preparing ourselves for, like I mentioned at the beginning in the intention, for that spring, for that blossoming that's going to come about. We're preparing ourselves for our new year, new intentions, new you. And then lastly, for the week, we have the moon in Capricorn opposing that Jupiter in Cancer. So that same day, Jupiter in Cancer is squaring Chiron retrograde in Aries. It's also opposing the moon in Capricorn. So this is kind of like the home versus public life axis. And I always say that weird. I'm trying to say the word AXIS, not access, but axis. So emotionally, we might be focused on public image or work, but feeling this pull to be more focused on home life. I do think that this is kind of like, of course, energetically aligned to be, in a way, like transitioning from work and like into having days off with family for holiday time, essentially. You could feel expansion in the home life in some way, but maybe restrictive emotionally or restricted emotionally because it's in Capricorn. But it's basically just a juxtaposition that you're going to need to balance, especially if you're with family. Family is our biggest lessons. And so feeling restrictive on our internal world, where we're feeling like this expansion in home life. And it's like in opposition of each other. So it lines up. Just remember that families are our biggest triggers. They pull out things that we think we've healed. And so the more that you can be with yourself and nurture yourself and give yourself that time and space while you're with family, especially during holiday season, the more likely that you're going to be able to have a successful time with your family and enjoy yourself and be able to like leave those scenarios applauding yourself and being proud of how far you've come from, say, last season of the holidays, where you are essentially, you know, a little bit further, where you can handle yourself a little bit more and you can stand in your truth and choose what's best for you versus what's best for your family or what you used to choose in the past. So I honor you all heading into holiday season. I am looking forward to hearing how everybody has grown so much from 2025 and how everybody is looking forward to 2026 and what y'all's goals are, what maybe your intention or your word is for 2026, or at least for this new moon, the last new moon of 2025. And yeah, I've been doing a little bit of work behind the scenes for myself, and I'm really excited about 2026. I do feel like my Aries sun energy and Jupiter Aries and North Node Aries is really aligning with the fire horse energy of 2026. And I can feel us all coming alive, all coming online, all speaking our truth, all seeing our value and our worth and being like, if you don't see my value and worth, then screw you. And that's the energy we need to be in. And bringing our gifts and the products and the services that we've been creating and dreaming of are really all coming online in 2026. And I'm so eager and so excited to see y'all step into your power. As always, if you have any questions, comments, love, or constructive criticism, put them in the comments. Like if you enjoyed this, if you're here listening, it helps so much. Once I reach 50 subscribers, I will start doing videos based on rising signs. And I'm really excited to start doing that because I know those are super helpful. And I do find I like to listen to those videos of my favorite astrologers more than, say, a week by week, day by day analysis. So yeah, and my email and my Instagram and my website, if you're interested in personal readings, I do 26 readings. I do natal chart readings. And I also do synastry readings between 2 people's natal charts or even up to 3 people's natal charts, say for employees. So if you are interested in any of those things, reach out to me. And yeah, I hope you guys have a beautiful week. Thank you.